Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're taking a look at another Black Series 6-inch deluxe release. This is of course the man, the myth, the legend that is Boba Fett, and this is without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the best figures to be released under the Black Series banner so far. Everything about this one is an absolute work of art, from the overall sculpt, the paint applications and details, articulation, and of course the accessories are absolutely on point. And unlike Jar Jar Binks that I gave you a look at in my last review, I truly believe this one is worthy of the deluxe label and the extra cost that comes with it. We do get some extra accessories with this figure that we wouldn't necessarily get with a standard Black Series 6-inch release, and it is, again, one of the best Black Series figures released so far. It's easily the definitive Boba Fett figure. It is of course based on his appearance in Return of the Jedi, and it is just an incredible addition to the collection. So if you want to pick this one up for yourself, as always, there's a link down below in the video description where you can do so. And I do want to quickly point out, before we jump into this review, that this is my 999th video, which means my next video will be my 1000th, and it will be a Star Wars collection update. So I really hope you'll stay tuned for that. Hopefully, if all things go to plan, then that video will drop on May the 4th. So be sure, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so that you get all my latest videos straight to your inbox. And again, I hope you'll join me for that collection tour on May the 4th. So with all that aside, let's jump into this review. And as always, we'll kick things off by taking a look at the packaging that he comes in. So as you can see, we do get pretty much standard Black Series packaging for this figure. Obviously, being a deluxe release, the packaging has been slightly enlarged to accommodate all the additional accessories that we get with this one. But in terms of design, for the most part, it is what we've come to expect from the new packaging design. We do, of course, get down at the bottom this colour-coded call-out for the movie or series in which the character appears. And of course, this particular figure is based on Boba Fett's appearance in Return of the Jedi. So we do get some very movie-specific details with this one. On the side of the box, that colour does continue, and you've got this really nice mural image of Boba Fett down the spine of the box. On the back, you'll see that this is number 6 in the Return of the Jedi subline of the Black Series. You've got that image on the back there once again, and a brief description of the character as well. So really nice stuff in terms of packaging. Once again, it is 100% recyclable. The plastic and cardboard are separate, which is always a plus, and it is, yeah, really good stuff. So with packaging aside, let's jump into it and we'll take a look at the figure and all his features. So we'll kick this review off to begin with by taking a look at the overall figure as a whole, and then we'll jump into the specifics in terms of the accessories and what have you that he comes with. Now, right off the bat, as I said at the beginning of the review, this is, in my opinion, the definitive Boba Fett figure. This is without a doubt one of the best Boba Fett that we've seen in any scale so far. I know that the vintage collection figure that's due out or is out now is a great addition as well, but this absolutely takes the cake in terms of overall appearance. It looks fantastic. It is just a beautiful action figure. They've done a really good job with this one. Not only are the paint applications absolutely on point, but the sculpt is so good. It is of course a brand new sculpt, so it doesn't share any existing parts with any previous Boba Fett figures that we've seen in the Black Series so far. And Hasbro just nailed this one. Everything about it, from the proportions, the articulation, the details within the sculpt, are absolutely spot on, and I cannot say enough good things about this figure. Now, obviously, the elephant in the room is of course the fact that straight out of the box, there are a few issues with regards to the helmet of this figure. Now, like they've done with recent releases of Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers, Hasbro have included an unpainted head sculpt underneath the helmet. Now, from what I understand, Hasbro have indicated that this is so that they can release future figures with removable helmets, and that they've captured the proportions and all that sort of stuff accurately. It works. I really like it. But obviously, fresh out of the box, the plastic bubble that the figure's in tends to warp the figure and pinches it in a little bit, warps it, misshapes it, and that's a little bit unfortunate, but it's an easy fix. If you stick this figure in boiling water, or if you give it a whack with the hairdryer, and I don't mean physically hit it, I mean, you know, blow it as you would your hair, then you can heat the helmet up, reshape it, and as you can see, once you've done that, it looks absolutely fantastic. Now, again, the sculpt is fantastic, but what really, really brings this one to life is, of course, the paint applications, which on this figure are really, really well done. Now, as I said, this figure is based on Boba Fett's appearance in Return of the Jedi, so the colour scheme is specific to that appearance. We have a darker green colour used on the armour, we have maroon or slightly brown gauntlets, we have a different belt, and we have a really, really nice and vibrantly coloured jetpack, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. And I've always been partial to the Return of the Jedi appearance of Boba Fett over his appearance in The Empire Strikes Back. The colours on the Empire version seem a little bit more muted, they're not quite as in your face and vibrant, and this one is just a great addition to the collection, not just in terms of the sculpt, but in terms of the colour scheme as well, which, again, I'm a little bit biased because this is my favourite incarnation, but it just looks fantastic on a shelf. Now, in terms of the overall sculpt, there are some great details captured on this one. So as you can see on the gauntlets, you've got that dart launcher there, you've got the flamethrower effect, really, really cool stuff going on, and you've got these really nice silver scrapes and dings all over the armour as well. That same detail continues to the other gauntlet. You've got the hoses there that connect to the pouch on the sleeve. Pockets and buckles, belts, all that sort of stuff going on around the waist. Again, superb detail on the jetpack. The cape is a sculpted piece of plastic as opposed to a soft goods fabric cape that we've seen on pretty much every Black Series Boba Fett figure so far. And again, the belt is specific to his Return of the Jedi appearance as well. You've got the tools sculpted into the pockets on his shins. You've got the great details there on his knee pads and on his boots. Got the Wookiee braids draped over the shoulder. Again, everything about this one in terms of overall sculpt is absolutely fantastic. Now, in terms of articulation, this figure is packed to the brim, and being a more recent release, he does come with a few added articulation points. Now, right off the bat, he does feature a ball joint at the base of the neck and at the base of the skull, so you've got two ball joints there, which really give you a nice range of movement in the head. What's really cool about this is that it allows you to get the figure in some great poses, whether he's firing his flamethrower, whether he's aiming his blaster, he looks great in any pose. We also have hinges and butterfly joints at the shoulders, and what's really cool is the fact that the vest and the armor piece here, like in The Mandalorian, is a separate piece overall, and it's just slotted over the body, and that doesn't hinder any of the articulation whatsoever. The shoulder plates are attached to this as well, so again, you get some really nice movement in the arms. So you've got articulation there in the shoulders and at the elbows. There's a swivel at the forearm in the form of the gauntlet, hinges at the wrist, a nice fluid ball joint at the torso once again, which isn't hindered by the chest armor or the belt, which is also a separately sculpted piece, so that's really good. We also have hinges at the hips, swivel cuts at the upper thigh, a single joint in the knee just below the knee pad, and we also have a hinge and a rocker at the ankle. So really good articulation on this figure. Again, you can get him in some really cool poses, and the extra additions of those ball joints in the neck and the butterfly joints in the shoulders really do give you a fantastic range of movement that allow you to get this figure in some very lifelike poses. So articulation and overall sculpt, absolutely top notch, really well done. As you can see, you've got the Mythosaur skull there painted on his shoulder. You've got the emblem on his chest as well. Nice weathering on the jetpack and on the overall costume. Great stuff. Now, in terms of accessories, he does come with quite a few, but we will touch base on the accessories that you'd expect to be included with the figure first. So obviously we do get the jetpack, which can be removed, but what's really cool about this as well is that the rocket at the top is also removable. Now, it doesn't fire out. Obviously, for a collector-focused line such as the Black Series, rocket firing features aren't commonplace, but if firing missiles are your thing, I definitely recommend picking up the Galaxy of Adventures Boba Fett figure, which is also based on his appearance in Return of the Jedi. As I said, the jetpack can be removed. The thrusters are articulated as well, as is the rangefinder on his helmet. And he also comes with his trademark blaster, which is also slightly different to the blaster used by Boba Fett in The Empire Strikes Back. You've got a more ridged barrel, and there's some really nice weathering applied to the blaster as well, which really bring out some of those details and really go a long way to add some depth and realism to the figure. So really good stuff. As I said, he does come with a few additional accessories that we wouldn't necessarily get with a standard release, so we'll take a look at those now. So the first additional accessory that we get with this figure, as you can see, is a variation on his blaster. Now, I'm sure we all remember that scene from Return of the Jedi where Luke Skywalker squares up to Boba Fett and slices his blaster in half, and that's what Hasbro have tried to replicate here. Now, while I appreciate the effort, the overall execution is a little bit off. As you can see, the blaster does come as a whole piece, but it can be separated in the middle. So if you just pull that apart like so, it does give you the illusion that Boba's blaster has been sliced in half. The peg is a little bit weird, if I'm being honest, on the barrel. I think it would have made a lot more sense not to have included the barrel, because if you connect the blaster and complete it, having a slice mark down the middle doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So while I appreciate this, it's a weird choice. Once the blaster has been sliced in half, as you can see, we do get what is left of it, and it looks pretty cool. You know, if you want to set up that scene on your shelf, this allows you to do that. But again, the overall execution just seems a little bit off to me. What I would have really liked, and I'm just throwing a suggestion out there, is that the blaster had been cast in translucent plastic so that the saw mark there, or the slice mark, whatever you want to call it, would be translucent as opposed to this blob of yellow paint that we have, which looks a little bit cheap in my opinion. You've still got really nice weathering on the blaster, but the yellow paint around the barrel there just looks a little bit cheap and doesn't quite capture the look and feel of what Hasbro were going for. So again, it's a welcome accessory. If you really want to recreate that scene from Return of the Jedi, you can do that. But it just falls a little bit short in terms of overall execution, in my opinion. But it's not a bad accessory by any means, and I'm really happy that Hasbro decided to include it. Now, another accessory that Hasbro included with this figure is a grappling hook, which again, I really do appreciate the fact that they included this with the figure, but the execution is not so great. What we have here is a plastic cuff that attaches to Boba Fett's wrist, and attached to that is a piece of string with a grappling hook on the end. Now, again, while the thought is there, and I appreciate Hasbro's sentiment, the execution is a little bit lacking, as the string itself, you know, once you let go of it, it just drops, and the string isn't quite long enough to really do anything with it. Not only is the cuff very loose fitting around the wrist, so you can't really hang Boba Fett from anything with the grappling hook, but the string isn't long enough to wrap around a figure. So obviously, again, going back to Return of the Jedi, where Boba Fett fires his wire from his gauntlet and wraps it around Luke, you can't create that with this because the string just isn't long enough to wrap around the figure. So what I think I'm going to do with this, once this review is over, is I'm going to remove the string and replace it with fishing wire, and then I can make it the length that I want it to be. I can recreate that scene from the film, and I'll probably do a little video on that over on my Instagram account, which you can find a link for down in the video description. But again, really nice addition. I'm happy that this was included. I'm happy to even have the chance to customize this, but again, it could have just been a little bit better. Now, the final accessories and my personal favourites that come with this figure are the flame effects, which look absolutely phenomenal and in my opinion really do complete the figure all round. As you can see, we do get a flame effect that attaches to Boba Fett's gauntlet, which allows you to recreate his flamethrower, which is really well done. It just attaches to the gauntlet there via a peg and hole system. The flame itself is really nicely captured, really well sculpted, and obviously cast in translucent plastic to give you that really cool flame effect. And we also get flame effects that plug into the thrusters on Boba Fett's jetpack, which are really well done. You may remember when I gave you guys a look at the Diamond Select Boba Fett figure. That figure did come with very similar accessories, but they didn't look quite right. They were more rounded off towards the bottom, didn't quite capture the look that I think they were going for in terms of, you know, propelling off with his jetpack. But these are really well done. I'm so impressed with those. And the only thing that I think that could have improved this figure in terms of these accessories would have been the addition of a flight stand. I really think that would have taken this figure over the edge, no pun intended. You know, to have him posed on a shelf, on a stand, mid-flight with these flame effects coming out of his thrusters would have looked absolutely phenomenal. But beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. It really would have made the figure even better value for money. But I'm just really glad that these were included nonetheless. Again, they look fantastic. And all that extra articulation that's been packed into the figure really help you to display this one with the flame effects in such a cool way. I love this. It's so good. Looks absolutely fantastic. So again, all round, this is without a doubt one of Hasbro's best Boba Fett figures in any scale. I can't wait to get my hands on the vintage collection release that is also based on his appearance in Return of the Jedi. There's been some incredible Boba Fett figures released recently, including, as I said, the figure from the Galaxy of Adventures range, which is also fantastic. But if you're a serious collector, you're looking for screen accuracy, you know, you want to get a Boba Fett figure that captures the overall essence of the character, look no further than this guy. Everything about it is fantastic. And again, if you want to add this one to your own collection, you can do so via the link in the video description. That will take you to staractionfigures.co.uk, and don't hang around with this one because he is in very high demand, and understandably so. So a great addition to the collection, guys. I really can't recommend this one enough. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon for my 1000th video, my Star Wars collection tour. So until then, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.